Okay, you've got a new album, I Worship Chaos, coming out at the beginning of October.
Yes.
When did the album start being written?
We started writing early December. So we spent a good 5 months writing the music.
Right.
And then we entered studio in April, was it? And did our usual 2 months, 6 weeks of recording and 2 weeks of mixing.
Right. Yeah, obviously by now you have plenty of practice and you've got a good routine, I would imagine.
Yeah, pretty good. We pretty well know ahead of time how much time we're going to need in studio, because back in the days it was a bit different, and we always had problems with schedules and deadlines, but nowadays we pretty well know what we're doing.
Right. I suppose it must make it easy to concentrate when you know that we've got 4 days to do this part, when
Yes.
you're not thinking, I'll do that bit tomorrow.
Yeah, and also the producer who we used again this time, Mikko Karmila, he's nowadays very good with the scheduling. He already has an idea in his head how many days we can do bass, guitar, this, and then we need to do this rhythm guitar parts, and then he has the whole time, and we try to follow his guidelines, so it works.
Right. Yeah. And when it comes to the writing, do you kind of all sit down together, or do you all write separately?
What we do is Alexei writes at home. Alexei writes riffs at home, and then riffs and pieces of songs and melodies. And then he comes to the rehearsal room. We all sit together and start. He shows us the riffs, and we go through them and start combining the riffs in the songs, and then so we all arrange it together.
Right. Yeah. And I suppose that way everyone's got their own. Everyone's got an input into it.
Yes, yeah, definitely. We all have a lot of input in the arranging phase. Yeah.
Right. And I know some bands, they're going to have 10 songs on the album, so they'll record 10 songs.
Yeah.
Other bands will record 15 and pick the 10 that they're happiest with.
Yeah.
How do you guys do it?
We had 10 songs on the album, so we recorded 10 songs. We've never had any leftovers. There's been only a couple of leftover riffs, but never had a leftover song. We just this way we make sure that, I don't know, for us it's just we don't. All the songs need our full attention that are going to end up on the album, so that's how we do it.
I suppose the other bit as well is, if you've got songs that you record and then don't use, it must be quite frustrating thinking, well, we've got these songs that are really good, but
that's right. But they were just not good enough to be on the album. So I don't know, I would hate that kind of situation.
Yeah, I suppose there's no easy solution there.
No.
Yeah. And Alexei has been quoted as saying that the new album is darker than the previous ones. Yeah.
I heard that in a lot of interviews. Everybody seems to think that.
Right. And what would you say? How would they compare to the previous?
I think the darker comes from we went even one more step down with the guitar tuning, so it gets a bit heavier, and from there darker too. I think the darkness comes also from certain riffs and parts on the songs that are kind of like have that really cool dark vibe going on. So it is probably the darkest album we've done.
Right, yeah.
But it still has those pretty catchy choruses and our trademark melodies and stuff.
Right. It's one of those things, I suppose, after this many albums you can't do a complete change. It's just like, what? That's not Bodom.
No, yeah, you don't want to, because I mean, obviously the fan base is really important too. You don't want to totally freak them out, No,
yeah. It's got to be a difficult balance in that you want to change and develop with time, but without really alienating people.
That's right. For us, it's we want to stay fresh, keep it fresh, so that every album is still very exciting for even people who know our work well. But so you don't want to repeat yourself. You don't want to write the same album over and over again. But then at the same time, you want to stay fresh. You want to keep moving on. So it's a balance.
Yeah. And obviously you've got a tour coming up later in the year, which is a pretty impressive lineup. Megadeth, Lamb of God, Silosis, and Children of Bodom.
Yeah. I'm really excited about that, and we get to play big rooms. With Megadeth on the bill, and we are very good friends with Lamb of God. We've done many tours with them, so looking forward. It's going to be a good time.
I can imagine. And does it put any extra pressure on you guys when you're thinking, right, this band's played before us, or this band's playing after us? Yeah, we've really got to give our best.
Well, yeah, but you should really try to do your best every night at every show. But obviously sometimes you get a really good extra kick out of it. Like, hey, we've got to be really good tonight because this and this is playing. Yeah. And it's obviously a great one for the fans because that many bands on one bill that are all really good quality bands. As well. Yes, yeah. I mean, obviously, it really brings it to the next level when you're playing with bands that you're. I mean, I'm personally like a huge Lamb of God fan. I love their stuff. So you really want to play a good show when you're touring with bands you like.
Yeah, and it must be good fun for you guys because you get to listen to them every night and watch them and enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I think there's about 5 or 6 UK dates, and I think you're playing Europe with them as well.
Yeah, but we have a co-headline tour throughout Europe, and then the UK bit is a bit special because Megadeth is joining for those dates. Yeah. And
then what's planned for the band after that tour?
After the European tour, for us it ends in early December, so the rest of the December is going to be free, and then we keep touring, go back to touring in January when I think we're going to go to North America. So, and then from there on, the tours will start lining up for the next year.
Right. And I suppose the difficult bit you're going to have to work out is how many songs from the new album to play,
yes.
and what to take out of the set list.
That is a difficult bit because everybody seems to really like the new album, and so we want to play as much of the new stuff as we can live. But then, yet you don't want to leave any classic bits out, and we really do have to play a lot of the old stuff too. But it's gonna be we have to find the right balance. And sometimes when you start touring, you gotta feel the audience and what seems to feel right, and if they can handle all the new stuff, or if you feel like there's demand for more of the old stuff.
Right, and I would imagine when you're touring, say Europe, what works well in one country doesn't necessarily work so well in another.
That's right, but we do tend to just make one set list for the whole tour. I mean, lately we've been switching it up a lot, but back in the day we would only write one set list and we would play that list for the whole tour. It's sometimes when you have production, when you have lights programmed, and if you have special effects or whatever, you can't change it too much. It fucks up the show. But lately we've been doing that too, that we experiment, we change one song here and there every night and see if whatever feels better.
Right, yeah. And it probably adds a bit more interest for you guys. If you're playing the same set every night, it gets a bit routine.
It gets a bit routine, but I like the routine because then you feel safer on stage. You get the feel of the set list, it becomes routine. So you don't fuck up any song changes, you don't fuck up any, I need to change sounds and whatever between the songs, and it all becomes routine, and it goes the same every night. So it might sound a bit boring, but I do like playing the same exact set list all the time.
And I suppose when you're using pyro, it's a lot safer for you because you're just so used to, right, I play this riff, then that bit goes off, so don't step over there.
Especially when you have pyro, you don't want to change it too much.
No, there's just so much potential for things to go horribly wrong.
Yes, yeah.
And do you prefer the studio side of things, or do you prefer the touring? What really gives you the biggest?
I mean, for us, we release albums just to get to go on tour. It's all about, our albums are all about us getting to go tour around the world, So it's all about the live for us.
Right. And obviously you've toured quite a lot, so that you must have visited a lot of countries.
I think I stopped counting at 55 countries.
Right. Are there any places that you haven't toured yet that you just think, I really want to play there?
We've played so many places, and even on the previous album cycle we visited countries that we haven't played before, like Thailand. But one country a lot of bands have played that we have never played is South Africa. So maybe someday we'll go down there. There's so many places we've already played in.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
And I suppose going back to some of these places, do you actually get much time to have a day off and look around, or is it just airport, venue?
No, unfortunately, sometimes even though you would wanna, you have no time to see anything. It's just airport, hotel, to the show, airport, and to the next country, and you know, and then I have to admit, like as I grow older, and I've seen this country already. I like privacy. I like staying in my hotel room the whole day before the show. It's just it sounds very boring and horrible, but that's how I am. And when I was younger, and you know, you got to see these countries you've never seen. You know, obviously you went out to the town and you went and you know took photos and all that. Nowadays I'm a bit more lazier, you know. But you know, whenever we go to a new country, I try to go out a little bit if it's possible within the time schedule. But it really varies, you know. Like I said, touring life as you get older, it's a bit harder. So I just enjoy privacy. I enjoy being by myself.
Yeah, and I would imagine as well some time to just relax and build up your energy ready for that night.
Definitely, yes, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of hanging around on a tour, isn't there? So you go to the venue, you do your sound check, then you're waiting a few hours.
Exactly what it is. It's a hurry up and wait lifestyle. Yeah. You know, you go to the venue and you wait for the show. You go to the airport, you wait for the flight. Blah blah blah. It's just a lot of waiting.
Yeah, and Finland's obviously a country with a hell of a lot of bands come from.
Yeah.
What is it about Finland that makes so many metal bands?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's because it's so dark during the winter season. Nobody sees the sun, so they turn into heavy metal music. I have no real explanation for it, but that's my idea.
Yeah, one band I spoke to said, again, it was because of the darkness in winter. Yeah. The only things to do are either drink or make music, or both.
Yeah, right. Best of both worlds. Yeah.
But of course, in the summer you get daylight almost 24 hours.
Yeah, that's. I mean, Finland is a bit weird, you know. Wintertime it's dark all the time, and summertime it's light all the time. It fucking drives you crazy.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Thanks so much for your time.
No, thank you.